Banks and Bismaya back again for the final 2 games here on the B stream for IEM Chicago. And we're kicking off with a banger. It's going to be NRG going up against LDLC. And NRG not looking as high as people may have expected them to get, right? And LDLC have impressed and almost shocked at certain stages already.
Yeah, well, yesterday was a prime example of that, eliminating North from the tournament. We pretty much wrote them off after the first map that we saw yesterday. We were like, okay, it's going into Nuke, a map North are good at, a map they're not particularly good at, losing to some, like, weaker teams, and then they just go and pretty much body them on the map. Like even when they won like a convincing CT side, we still sat there and went, yeah, but now North are going to their CT side, and then they just beat them on the T side with some aggressive pushes and beat them on Mirage as well. So yeah, they've been impressive throughout this tournament. I do think that they're slowly like building up, because although I think North are a pretty good team, I think NRG in terms of like the matchup could actually work better for them. I think it's sort of like such basic Counter-Strike a lot of the time. I think that both teams are very good at like trading frags and sort of having these multi-kill rounds where, well, we've been lucky enough to cast a lot of them. We've seen like both these teams have like crazy rounds, and I think that that's going to make for a very exciting match, but not one where I'm going to be looking at the in-depth strategy thrown in by both these teams. I think it's going to be like a brawl.
See, I'd say a bit of a brawl in terms of kind of what we've seen already, but just NRG at this event in general. Obviously, they had to deal with their coach going away, which is a vital key opponent taken out of their kind of arsenal to work with. But not just that, as a team, they've not looked as solid as we've seen them in the past. So I say as well, when you look at just their map pools, they even up both of them. Will happily play Overpass. Dust 2, I know LDLC will want to try and sneak in there, but I expect NRG to come like, yeah, let's try ban it out or something like that. I think it's kind of a bit of a to and fro in how this is going to go. I can clearly see this going for a 3-mapper, unless we just see NRG really come into their own and just kind of flex and dominate from the early start. I think we said about North being the real first big test now for LDLC. This is the next step on, right? But you would argue that kind of NRG and North, they kind of sit in the same scenario at the moment, where we get some good results every now and again, and then it drops back down. But the more the star power players were certainly on North, but it wasn't possible at all. It wasn't ready. Now we are going to take a look at this veto, and let's see how it does go down. So we get the Inferno ban coming from LDLC. So they both want to play Overpass, which is going to be interesting.
I'm not surprised as the Dust 2 ban came out straight away, because we watched that MVP game they played the other day, and that was not very good at all. Now Nuke, that's a bit more of an interesting one. Now after beating North yesterday, I could definitely see why LDLC would be feeling pretty confident on it. They had an incredible CT side. Overpass does come out, and again, LDLC, I don't think they're going to be minding that too much.
It's LDLC's best map, but also NRG's best map, so this works out for both favours. The Nuke pick's interesting because they both are happy to play into it, but it's not normally a pick, so I like that from LDLC. Cash, Mirage, and, well, look what we got last. Train. This will be again, this is potential, basically. If NRG can't best them on Overpass, I can see us going 2-0 to LDLC.
The thing is, I can see it going 2-0 either way. Like that's the thing. I think that, like, with LDLC's Nuke yesterday, I think one of the big factors why North did get beaten so badly in that first half was they never got any economy. Like, it was literally, I think it was 4 rounds, they win 1, reset. 3 rounds, 1 round, reset. 4 rounds, and then I think they get, like, the last couple. So it's one of those cases where I go, okay, yeah, it was really dominant. Then they went into the T side, and they sort of, again, reset them fairly early on with one of their 4 spies. I think if NRG know how they're going to play, know this aggressive sort of style, and can at least get a few more rounds on the T side, if, of course, they don't start CT side, then I think the game could be a little bit closer, and I don't think it will be as one-sided as the game we saw versus North yesterday.
No, I don't expect it to be that one-sided at all, but I do think that I would disagree with you on the whole fact of NRG having a chance to go 2-0. I think the only way I see NRG winning this is a 2-1, just based on what we've seen from already at this event. Because it's like, we look at them, we do it in an NA Pro League, right? We see them, and they can grind out these games, but something has been a little bit lackluster from this team, at least here and now. And it's like, okay, the coach has gone, that's one thing to expect, but sometimes you can't play up to your normal standard the whole way through. And also, LDLC might be a bit of a shock factor for them at the same time.
Yeah, the only thing I will say is with the whole shock factor, I think that kind of went out the window the second they beat North. I feel like any team where they go, okay, they beat the team that we lost to earlier in the tournament, maybe we should pay them a little bit more attention. But at the same time, the person who's going to be breaking it down and probably doing a lot of the research for them isn't here.
It's time for Daps to step up.
So that's the thing. That's where, okay, obviously I'm not going to be sitting here going, and Daps doesn't know how to work the demos. Like, obviously he is going to be there and still looking through everything, making sure that he knows how LDLC plays. The real thing for me is when the sort of basic strategies don't work for LDLC, do they have a deeper book? Because all the way through, we haven't actually needed to see that at all. It's always been like, okay, they may throw in the odd fake every once in a while. Like, I think once they get a man advantage, they are excellent at trading and their fundamentals fantastic, but I've not seen like some crazy smoke setups or like some counters to the way the other team are playing. A lot of the time it's very aggressive pushes into the site, trading effectively, and if they get the man advantage, falling back and replaying the round a little bit later on. So I want to see if things aren't working out for LDLC, how do they then react?
I think it'll be them coming back to their team chemistry and how they can do just as a unit, right? I think that's another edge they have here over NRG in that sense, because LDLC are overall, I know, it's not a name many people would have gone, oh yeah, that's definitely going to be the kind of the big hitters here, but they are a scary team. But what a map for us to get started on here, Tom. This was the map where LDLC showed some severe dominance early on. NRG going to be starting on this CT side, which you would say would give them the favoured chance here, but LDLC, they were able to flex a little bit on it before.
Oh, already. So, going to be forced out of position. Devek has managed to get the opening kill, and Breezy has everything to do and achieves absolutely nothing. Luckily, Ethan from above has brought them a couple of kills back. He is the man with the kit, has a smoke as well, and the bomb yet to actually be planted. And they're going to switch things up. I like it. Just go back to the B side. There's nobody currently there for the opposing side. Rotation is going to be quick, though. You can already see two players making their way towards the ramp. Daps waiting in case anybody looks to wrap around in towards Secret. Here comes the push back in already. A quick trade turns it into the 2 versus 2. I believe the kit can still be retrieved by Fugly up above, and he has managed to get that, so time not so much a factor at this point. Dap's going to try and just bait out the position, and the smoke going down actually could give a little bit of a false positive over onto the other side. The fact is, though, they need to get rid of Devek, and that has failed miserably. It's all left on Fugly, but that second shot, absolute filth. He's going to get the defuse as well, and I'll be honest, once Daps went down, I didn't believe that he was going to clutch that out.
A weird decision there from LDLC, though, right? Because they didn't hear him go straight onto the bomb, and they both pushed in. After he took the first kill, there was literally no need to try and take the challenge, especially when the smoke obviously benefited Fugly in that scenario. Either way, what a wicked shot that came out there from Fugly. But LDLC, they're doing what we always see them do here, Tom. Come out and be like, cool, we'll play the new economy game. We're going to make this 1-1 now.
Yeah, this is something I mentioned yesterday, that even though they are actually pretty poor at winning pistol rounds, I think that's one of the detriments we have to say. They always seem to get the bomb down, and they're really good at winning these second rounds. That nade, though, nice bit of damage to at least soften off a couple of these players. So, not able to connect the shot, but Ethan will. The rifle onto Devek, already managing to put at least one down. Of course, he is normally one of the players who actually ends up with a pistol. Almost one there, but again, Ethan's trading things back, and a scout hit as well will leave another man low. How's he even alive at this point? He's been hit by the scout twice and still survives. And Alex also down to just 8 HP. They're all being softened up for Ethan, who looks to try and add to his tally. Bomb is about to be retrieved, but easier said than done for Alex, especially considering how low he is, and leaves it now with just 2 men remaining.
All right, if we can get a gun now up on Amanek, he's trying to sneak around ramp. He might be able to catch him off guard, but Fugly's looking for it. Still 50 seconds to play with either way. Problem here is not having the bomb. CT's in a good position. This is going to be really hard to work, and obviously the fact that Toynu doesn't have much health, but Amanek's going to open up early on. This will grab him the weapon. He domes their heads, and Cirque, though, he's been waiting around there. He's been managing to stay alive, still hanging about Garage. He's got the scout in hand. Damage to be done. But this is where it gets a little bit harder for him. He hasn't managed to get a kill yet. He's tagged them up plenty. Can he get the next one? He sees the barrel of the gun. Toynu's not looking for it, but Amanek forces it into a 1v1. Now it's all on to Ethan. The bomb's going to be picked up here, and now he's got to try and find him out in the open. Ethan's ready and waiting for it. He doesn't miss shots like that, and LDLC try as hard as they can. They can't manage to make it a 1-1, which is a different scenario from what we've seen in a lot of these LDLC games, Tom.
Yeah, the thing is, even in some of these rounds, especially when it's very, very close, we do see them force again. Now, Alex has already gone for it. couple of Mac 10s, 3 Mac 10s in fact. It's almost like a Vega squadron level buy, but there's not quite the all 5, so it's not the Vega. But yeah, this is the thing with LDLC. I haven't actually seen them fail. That's the biggest problem I have. They always manage to win one of these break rounds, and then they get that economy boost. They get to kick things off with those sort of extra few rounds, as other teams are just not going to take the same risks that they will. I'm interested to see if this then doesn't work, when do they sort of take the step back? Because, of course, even in these sort of scenarios, they've got that extra round of loss bonus. So they will have a reasonable amount of money. In fact, the bomb plant in this round would actually do enough, but we'll see. Straight push in onto the A site. Breezy has gone aggressive and taken some control away. It's still going to be a trade back, but the Molotov doesn't work out, and they may actually be in a bit of trouble here, as Cirque from above is going to have too much information. Still, though, they trade both of the kills back. It's into this 2v3. Fugly and Ethan have had a good start, but Fugly's going to be left onto 6 HP, and Ethan is dead. Again, these 4 spy rounds work out for LDLC. And, well, I'm not going to get my wish. I won't get to see what happens if they finally have to take an eco.
Yeah, Fugly, a little bit more than he can handle here with 6 health and a dream. He'll look on just to hold that M4 in his hands. And remember, being on the CT side, it was a costly round on that previous, so LDLC forced the issue now. They've kept 3 alive. They've grabbed themselves 2 M4s here as well. And now they're going to have NRG on an eco, which means you can still keep that Mac 10 in play, get that extra utility behind it. This is where LDLC start to play that money game very early on here against the American side. And I think this is where LDLC will go, cool, okay, we can put the pressure on them, and we can win rounds like that, so they're not unbeatable.
Yeah, this is the sort of problem, is that because LDLC are never, well, thus far in this one, they haven't really been punished for these sort of force buys, and I don't think teams really expect them to be going for these. I will say there were plenty of rifles for NRG.
Ooh, God, he's back on it again. Gets himself 2. CZ in hand, he's trying to avoid it. Daps has chimed in as well. He's sneaking from behind, and oh no, oh, that little bit of Go TV lag. Yeah. Oh no.
Well, we've got the different POVs at least.
Thanks, Bastian. Just click through them all. Let's just see. Look, Daps is in such a position. He did walk away with a kill. We come back into the game. But Daps and Fugly, that's all they were needed. CZ's damage being done. LDLC trying to bust into ramp. Maybe a little bit overcommitted, a bit too fast-paced there. Can't get it done.
Anything you can do, we can do better. And, well, that is the sort of prospect of this NRG roster, is that they're willing to go for these sort of force buys as well as anybody else. So the thing is, again, LDLC, they're going to take the risk. They're going to go for this force buy. In these sort of scenarios, I do understand it. They don't have a huge amount of cash to fall back on, and they want to try and break the money. That's how they've actually had a lot of their victories, is by not allowing the opposing team to make any cash. We saw it in the Renegades game that they played, where they had 7 rounds where there was only 1 player surviving when Renegades were actually winning over on their CT side. Obviously, LDLC did lose the map because they never actually got the reset, but a lot of the time, they have actually managed to do it. Aminek straight away, already finding the opening pick, and they've got that ramp control very early on. The fact is, though, CT side do still have the advantage, and Fugly has already found a pick back in return.
But Logan's going to answer with one of his own. This keeps LDLC with an advantage here. They've got the weapons to play with. As Ethan fallen as well. Fugly and Breezy, it's all up to them now. Breezy's in a nice spot, though. He's come through squeaky door. Logan ready for him, though, which means he'll be taken out of the server as for now, and it's all on Fugly once again. He had a good start to this game, but 1v4. He's checking all his corners, and at this point, again, he's probably just going to look to save it, but Toynu's hanging around, still looking for it. Takes a bit of damage, but they can't find the frag. Now they know his spot. Fugly does well to get that kill, but he's low on health now. And here I think he'll just back away. Try and live to fight another day, because again, NRG, they just don't have the money despite getting the rounds. It's this more expensive CT side.
Well, yeah, neither team has really been able to get a full buy yet. And that's been the way this game has gone. But the fact is, for LDLC, this is the better case. They're on the T side. If they can get these sort of backwards and forwards rounds, and say the half does end, even if it's like an 8-7 and it's just force buys all the way to the end, they'll take that. That would be 7 rounds on the T side of Nuke. So the thing is, it's NRG that really are the ones that eventually may have to take the hit. The fact is, though, it doesn't look like they're willing to do it just yet. They're going to try and work this once again. Full buys are just not coming into the server at the moment, as it is just going to be this purchase once more. CZ's galore. Breezy, the only one with anything extra, a UMP to his name. But the fact is now LDLC, they're pretty damn close to just having everybody on a weapon.
And this is where they can try and even up the scoreboards, but last time around, NRG with the CZs in their hands are able to do some serious damage. Already we see the ramp room push come out from Fugly. LDLC, though, they've slowed it down a little bit more, so they're not going to just rush in. They're not going to take that risk again. They're well aware that NRG can step up to the plate when required. But it's just a strong hold now. LDLC hoping for some CT aggression to come out, maybe for someone to try and make a play. We're not going to see that as of yet. Breezy just holding strong, aggressive in heart. We've got Fugly aggressive on ramp as well, which means also if they do just push down ramp and Fugly's there to take a couple of kills, he can then just, maybe if he dies, Breezy push down, try and get behind him. They've got good positions, but LDLC, they're not fully confident on where they want to go just yet. Start to see Logan make his way outside. He's got Toynu there to back him up as well. Ethan's sat in main, so he's well aware of this because he can hear everything going on. LDLC are not trying to be quiet with it. Time's running down a little bit as Daps again on the CZs. He's able to deliver. He finds himself 1 kill. Can't get any more, though, as Toynu and Alex are going to open up this round for the LDLC side, at least, which does give them the advantage. Still need to be cautious. Alex scoping around on this lower B bomb site.
Yeah, they've only got 25 seconds to go, so they do actually have to make their decision fairly quick here. The bomb's still all the way down the bottom, and it looks like they are just going to look to wrap in. Ethan has managed to get himself an AK, and he's waiting on the site already. He executes the first. They need to clear him, and the problem is Fugly's got the backline held as well. It's looking pretty good. Amanek tapping away, and the bomb will be planted. He needs to get this kill and does, but can Fugly do anything? The MAC-10 in his hand, definitely not the weapon that he would have desired. One of his opponents at least is tagged a little bit, but they're in a pretty tradable position, and Logan peeks out and breaks the deadlock. It's a couple of rounds in a row now for LDLC, and this time I fear NRG are going to have to take the hit.
A very close attempt there. A chance again for NRG to try and make it work. And this is what's scary, right? We said about NRG not having the weapons they wanted in their hands for multiple rounds now. It's one of them situations where when they do actually have the weapons in their hands, they can have that confidence with it as well, because they just played a straight up game there and nearly ended up taking it against LDLC once again. That's the problem for LDLC. They've got the MAC-10s back though, so again, LDLC trying to play for this money advantage, as they so like to do. Toynu's going to go and head his way down to this lower B site, move his way, pushing down Secret. He's got the back of his team. Amanek's taking a hell of a lot of damage, though. Needs to be careful. He's ready to just make sure no one pushes behind, but Daps again on the CZ. Can he get it done? Alex jumping around, does manage to finish him off. That's 2 MAC-10 kills already for LDLC. It's what they wanted. That's how they wanted to see it play out. Already, though, the heavy rotations come down to this B site, but at distance, Breezy can't get it done, and the MAC-10s reign supreme a little bit more here. And we're in a 5v2, so LDLC playing this a lot better than what we've seen in a couple of last rounds.
Yeah, they've got a few low players, but again, this is the sort of thing we see from them on even more sort of basic maps, is that they're very happy to just fall back. And they're not going to just run into the site just because they have the advantages here. Like, the fact is, in a 5 versus 2 against Pistols, they'd have easily won this round even if they just went running into the B site. But it's spots that they sort of don't really want to be clearing. Angles that they don't want to risk. They've got a few low players on their team at the moment. So what they've decided to do, okay, we'll fall back. It's very unlikely there'll be anyone on the A site. So we can just sort of remove the risk. And now NRG are trying to retake with Pistols. The chances of them getting any kills there are pretty slim. You can even see Cirque's not going to bother in terms of a retake. He's just trying to wait back, a little bit more passive. Ethan actually does manage to take down Toynu. He was one of the healthier players, and there's actually a TK in there as well. So an extra bit of damage done. Only MAC-10's lost, however. Now the CT side can actually get a purchase, but the one thing is these 4 Spy Wars have done one thing to the CT side that is more of a problem for them, and that's stopped Cirque getting an AWP. And I think he's one of the most, well, if not the most clinical player in this team when it comes to the chance for him to just crush through an opponent. And they've removed that just because he's not been able to get an AWP in what? We're already halfway through the half.
And that's the thing. That's what they have to deal with now. Alex looking to try and make some movement outside. Cirque as well wants to get himself on that AWP as soon as possible. Give him a better option to hold outside, where when we saw LDLC play north on this map, it's where they had a lot of focus towards. Nades going out. Davidovec takes a little bit of damage. Alex is just holding. He's hoping that someone's going to poke out. He's just waiting out on the position. The rest of LDLC looks like they're getting themselves lined up for the execute. Plenty of utility to play with here. They've already caused NRG to spend so much. Fugly's got nothing to play with. Same for Breezy. Cirque's only got one flash now. And there you go. Alex is ready for this completely. Perfect smokes being laid down there from LDLC. This is going to cause the rotation from NRG. Ethan jumping down straight away, expects the push coming in. Cirque manages to tag up Alex. He gets the information to play with there, but he can't finish him off. Alex is low, though. But this is good. Look at the position from LDLC. They've sat in lobby. They've caused this to be like an already over-rotation, right? So Ethan's going to come back up, but he just ends up getting annihilated straight away. Dapp's in a nice spot to do some damage, but instantly Davidovec domes him before being taken down. Breezy now to hold on to this site, Tom. So much to be done, but he's managing to get the kills. That's a third. Breezy delivering. But Cirque spraying through. Alex is low, but he's on the hunt. Cirque is able to get the kill finally. And now Amanex all alone in a 1v3. Can Breezy do any more here? 4 kills for him. And that solo A anchor locking it down.
Yeah, I actually think LDLC, just because Alex got caught there, it sort of changed the way that the round went. Because, like you said, they baited out a rotation towards B, but by the time the hit actually came into the site, there were actually 3 players on A for NRG, 1 man also holding outside, so there was not really any presence on B at all, because they just worked out that nobody had actually crossed to the site. The fact is, it didn't make a difference. They only needed 1 man on the site. It was Breezy to do all of the work, the heavy lifting, and now they actually get an AWP into their hands for free, which is a nice little bonus for them. Of course, the T's yet to really take much of a hit. Their utility dwindling a little bit, but other than that, the buy is a decent one. And we're going to see the fight take, and Cirque just so quick on the trigger will remove Davidovec. That AWP, second it lands into his hands, impact is gathered.
Already this opening kill, Cirque repositions himself. He's not bothered. He knows he's in a good spot. He's got that lead already for him. LDLC playing a little bit more passive than what we saw yesterday. These have been some drawn-out rounds. The slow style of play. As once again, LDLC get ready for their execute. Smokes go up. A Cirque's already rotated out. You can see we've got 1 player up in heaven. Just having a look across. Oh, Dabs. Unlucky there as he throws the Incendiary grenade out, ends up getting tagged up. Toinu's looking for some more. Bit of a trade back and forth. Puts this now into the 3 versus 3.
The thing is that the clock, again, 30 seconds left, and Cirque is well positioned already, catches one, and he spots the bomb. That's all the information that the CT side need. The question is, are the rotations actually going to be caught? They've managed to get that bomb. They're going to look to go back. I think they're absolutely screwed here. It's just going to come down to timing. Twan, who needs to hit the shot, and Breezy has them all day long. Again, the clock starts to play a part for LDLC, and now, in addition to that, so does the money.
Yeah, this is where it starts to hurt LDLC. No plants. The slow and steady pace. NRG, once they've got weapons in their hands, they start to feel a little bit more comfortable. Early back and forth, which we got to see, the trades were there, but Cirque, he bided his time so well. Got the early kill, the opening of the round. His kills were the impact kills, right? Yeah. They're the ones that changed the whole pace of this round, because it was easily looking like LDLC could have forced that lower sight.
Well, this one, back to pistols, can't really expect too much from LDLC. Best case scenario is a bit of damage, a bomb plant. Anything of the sort would be great, but chances of winning, slim to none. It would have to be some sort of atrocity. Breaking of the windows. Maybe we're just going to see Alex pop a flash in, and then the rest of the team try to run into the site, catching someone blind. It's not the most in-depth strategy you'll ever see, but the fact is they don't have much to play with.
No, they want that plant. They want to try and get their way in, but Breezy, we spoke about him being an anchor on this round. He's just playing again, ready for it, waiting. And this should be a mowdown. Ethan goes to reposition himself. The spray comes in. He takes a couple of dinks, but he walks away with 2 kills. Daps is there on cleanup duty, and Alex will fall as well. So a round as we expected. Another round without a bomb plant here for LDLC. And NRG now gaining themselves a 2-round lead. And with this buy coming in from LDLC, before they actually make the decision on what they're going to do here, they come in with their first timeout of the game.
Yeah, I think a pretty good position to call one in because it seems like NRG have actually stabilized a little bit here. Now, we've seen some excellent CT sides out from LDLC, so I think even with like 5 or 6 rounds, I don't think they'll be too worried at all. Obviously, a pistol round then can actually change the game quite significantly, and I'm not going to say that I'll look at this NRG side and say that what we saw from North is going to be anything the same. I expect them to at least get a few rounds on the T side, so LDLC will definitely want a bit more of a buffer. Either way, now it's about breaking that NRG economy once again. The money, not that great. They're not at a point where they can afford a rebuy. At the same time, they do now have everything they desire. They have that AWP, they have utility, they even have an AK for Breezy, which definitely seems to make him that bit more deadly.
Yeah, he's been stunting just a little bit on LDLC. Fragging consistently, as we do so often see from this young man. Oh, Amanek tries to play it off the smoke and not be seen, but Ethan's ready for it. Looks in for the second, the pre-fire onto Alex, and he gets wrecked. As Fugly now looking to lock this down, even manages to dink Devo Duvek there. We're already in a 4v2, and LDLC seemingly unable to break the entry as Breezy. Oh no, this is going to be bad. Logan's waiting for on the edge of smoke, expecting someone maybe to come through. It's the waiting game. Breezy's been quiet though, and then he sees it. He sprays it down just as the smoke starts to fade. Logan will go down, and Devo Duvek on 10 health against 4 of the CTs. With a minute to go as well, saving it at this point is going to be quite difficult.
Yeah, I think eventually the CT side will probably just get bored and go looking for him. But yeah, a brilliant round already from NRG. And the thing is, even like sort of the players that we don't necessarily expect to like step up and frag heavy are actually doing very well. I think Fugly has had a huge amount of rounds with just pure impact frags. Even there, he gets a kill and gets a dink onto the second, and a classic sort of fake with the bomb. It hasn't worked too well. They now know exactly where he is as well, and Breezy will comfortably peek in and finish this one. 7-4, the early back and forth has definitely dwindled now, and LDLC once again are into an eco. And the bigger problem that they have, NRG now do have enough money that if things go a little bit wrong, they will have the cash to buy.
And that's the little buffer they need, right? It gives them that extra confidence here. We're seeing a few more Tech 9s come out across the board since the changes as well. Both Alex and Mr. Devo Duvek have got them in their hands. LDLC, again, a bit more of an investment into these pistols this time around. Armor to play with as well. Will this be a difference maker when they try to push in? Because so far, the holds from NRG have been on point as Daps gets caught with grenades in his hands, and they wreak havoc into this A side. More damage being done as Toinu able to find Ethan off the edge of the smoke. Now we're in a 2v5, and straight away, NRG say, we're getting the hell out of here, boys. We do not want to take this fight. They've got weapons, they've got the bomb down, and this retake is not something we want to risk. We've got a lead, we've got the money. We're not letting this slip away just yet.
I think this is almost just giving me flashbacks to sort of like old French CS, where it was just like, it didn't matter what buy like the old MV would have, they could still win around with like just some Deagles and some CZs. And that's what LDLC are giving us a lot of the time. Like even again in the game versus North yesterday, when they finally got to a point where they're like, okay, we're on the CT side, we're the one with the better buy, they've just got some pistols. And then LDLC just go and win a round that never should have happened. They kept all 5 players alive. They didn't lose a single one. Any money problems that they had has just gone straight out the window. Toinu didn't even have like armor in that situation. It's just a weird round for them to win. It's just the fact that they go for these fast-paced plays, and they're so good at these trading frags and just working together in synergy. It just didn't look like NRG were ready for it. 7-5, they've got that 5th on the board. Anything more than this, and yeah, they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, LDLC, any more rounds from here is just bonus rounds on their T side. This is what they would have wanted. It was a very back and forth start, but NRG, now it's their time to bring back some domination. Bring back a few more opportunities to put LDLC back down, because they've not built up the bank just yet. But you see LDLC, the change we're seeing here, Tom? They've not got the SMGs this time. They're not feeling confident enough to have one player still on an SMG to get that extra money. The one thing I'm looking forward to, though, is seeing Amanek back on that CT side of his auto shotgun. We know he loves a bit of plays in that. That was clip heavy yesterday on North's games.
We had Logan as well with the mag.
Oh, yeah, that was it. They went for the duo, didn't they? the auto shotty and the Mag 7 plays coming out from LDLC on their CT side. So look forward to that, guys, because it provided us with some serious entertainment.
It is going to be the execute onto the site for LDLC. Taps forced out, and Devaduvek is ready and waiting. It's going to be Ethan above. Just going to try and reposition, but this is what the T's like to do. They take the early advantage. They don't necessarily run into the site. They have given a little bit more time, and Breezy's still towards the back, but they've ducked back down. They've gone towards B.
That's so smart from Devaduvek as well. He's throwing out the flashes. He's keeping him at base. Cirque's already rotated down. He may get one here. Devaduvek doing damage onto Ethan. LDLC got a bit of time to play with still, but Cirque needs to go down.
Yeah, there's only 25 seconds left. They found Fugly trying to rotate, and they've still got to retrieve this bomb. Now, the flashbang is going to leave him completely blind, but Breezy, in the meantime, has been given a little bit of extra space, and that has meant that he has gathered one. Oh, Alex hasn't quite been spotted. Now, he's very close, and he's just going to push straight through. Even uses the Tech 9 over the AK. A little bit of a weird one, but hey-ho. And now Breeze left alone. 1 versus 3. Manages to find himself the first pick. Amanek just waiting in the corner. He's not going to spot him. And a 6th on the board now for LDLC. And money, a bit of an issue for NRG.
That spot then from Amanek, by the way, is so key because normally people sit behind that spot, so in the actual cubby hole where it's hidden. So when a CT goes to check it, they don't naturally check straight up. So he's there able to do the damage, get the kill. And to be fair, just pulling out that Tech 9 on Alex, the scary thing is, Cirque is a player that could easily just spin and flick and just dome you, just completely destroy you. So Alex was going for the riskier deciding play there, but either way, LDLC won the round, so can't question it too much. 7-6 though, and LDLC, the more rounds they get on their T side, the easier this could become for them. NRG are going to have a very solid T side of their own, and they really do need to pick up a couple of rounds here, because if they don't get this one, look, already, they had lackluster utility. Fugly doesn't have a rifle. This is a troublesome round, and your heavy hitter and Breezy's gone down straight away to Amanek there. Toinu's found Ethan as well. This is not looking good for NRG. And LDLC, they've not even got themselves into a site just yet. This is just the opening kills. This is the damage being done as NRG desperately tried to make a play.
Yeah, this is the way that a Nuke game can quickly go for one of not really much of a problem to one where I'm now looking at the scoreline going, well, if they win the half, that's a bit much on the T side. Either way, they're now going to, again, just reset the round. They have those sort of aggressive plays early on, and then they just switch it up. They go back towards B, they take the secret play, and the fact is that no team can really react to this, because once you find opening kills on one side of the map, most of the time you're going to expect the team to actually play to that side of the map. You've got the advantages there. You expect players to be missing. The LDLC just like to exploit that. Now, Cirque has at least done some extra damage. The thing is, there's 2 dinked players now. They've not managed to finish either of them off, and that gives them the problem of now, well, it doesn't really seem like they've done too much. Let's just go and save our guns.
And they have to save here because no money on the board. They're going to have Breezy and Ethan who are just going to have some upgraded pistols or SMGs potentially. I think the key factor of why NRG have really struggled as well is not just how LDLC have forced their economy, is the fact that Cirque, right? He's normal a guy that, especially on a map like Nuke or a train, he can really open up on. Well, he's only had the AWP once or maybe twice across this entire game just because of the way it's worked out. He's had a couple of rounds where he's had to come in and play with these M4s even when NRG started getting the rounds getting like chained together here. So LDLC with 5 alive here going into the last round of the first half, they've really brought this back. If they get in this 8-7, that's a really solid T-side start for their first map here in this best of 3 against NRG.
Wow. The save does mean that for the final round, we will at least have a purchase on either side. It will have to be a few weapons juggled around in order to at least get a buy. Now, there is a few players with weapons missing. Personally, I'd quite like to see like maybe Cirque actually switch weapons with Breezy, just because he's been playing so well so far. Give him the rifle. It's not really the primary, at least for Cirque anyway. Now, obviously, the sort of taking one weapon away from another, there's arguments either side, but I think if someone's just playing out of their mind, give them the gun.
Bastion flips off that quickly. Doesn't want to shame Ethan anymore for the missed nade, but I'll point it out.
Yeah, you will. Bastion being very friendly. James, not so much.
It's all right. Me and Ethan are cool. He understands. Sometimes you just can't throw nades. North America.
Okay, just make it worse. Just make it worse for no reason at all.
It's never for no reason, Tom.
Yeah, we're not on our EU time zone anymore, so actually you're never on an EU time zone.
I don't have a sleep schedule.
You're basically American at this point.
I'll take that.
Minute left on the clock. A lot of the utility that was bought for NRG already diminished. A couple of incendiaries, no smokes, and mostly flashbangs sit in their hands.
And this is so good from LDLC. How many rounds have we seen where they just literally bait out any early utility from NRG? It's so effective as Breezy now looks to do some damage close range. Will he walk away to first kill? Finds Logan. Alex, though, straight on the refrag. Search in a nice spot. Not being checked at all here. Can he get away with any more, though? Dax is close range as well. Positions to be checked, and they pop out at the same time. This is really well played from NRG. Good, effective trades across the board, but we're in a 2v4 now, and NRG, they want to finish this half, and they want to do it with at least a one-round lead, as Toinu is all alone, and the CTs are going to start to close in on him.
Yeah, it doesn't have much of a chance in this situation. 3 players going down versus an AWP, and NRG at least scrape through the half. I wouldn't say it's particularly the way they wanted their CT half to go. But either way, we'll see if they can make it work on the T side after a short commercial break.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. NRG and LDLC here on Nuke. It went an 8-7 first half. It was very back and forth. But Tom, it's that time again. We potentially get to see LDLC play that crazy shotgun star with the auto shotgun and the Mag 7 in play. But the question is, can they get the pistol this time around?
I think we should just change pistol rounds so that everybody spawns with a shotgun. It'd be a lot more exciting.
Amanek would be living the dream then. Ethan going fast on ramp, but that nade, the damage, that was absolutely huge. Alex's spot. Oh, he still walks away with a kill. They're pushing into him. He's doing damage regardless. This is brilliant as Amanek chimes in with one on the CZ. Sir jumps up high. Toinu's ready. Heads are getting ripped clean off. And Logan ends it onto Breezy. 8-8. LDLC get the pistol and NRG didn't have a bloody chance.
That reset from Twanu on the second player was just disgusting. Like, pops up the ladder, just calm. Boop.
Boop. Done.
Just done. Yeah, it's not a vicious kill.
No, it was just a straight. Yep, got it.
It's like popping a bubble.
I'm just imagining, like, he just looked at it and he's like, ah, you're dead.
Yeah.
Ah, you're dead.
Easy. Yawned afterwards. Well, straight in. We've only got one. Shotgun.
Amanek, you've disappointed me, buddy.
Why have you gone for EMP?
Yeah, come on, man.
It's just disappointing. I do like the fact that Alex just seems to know what everyone else is doing on the T side, so he just basically just goes, yeah, USP.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy it.
Don't even need a gun here.
I'd certainly see LDLC have embraced the meta changes very strong, especially for a team that's not on the top echelons of CS at the moment, right? Duvek, they're going to meet the opening early kills. A nice easy one to start off with.
Yeah, this round.
There we go.
Simplistic.
That was to be expected, though.
Yeah, now is where things actually do get a little bit more interesting. Now, Alex saves the money so that he can get an AWP for Twanu. He then buys up a rifle. He's still going to have the shotgun and the SMG in play, which is definitely not ideal when AK-47s are on every single player. Now, the odds actually surprised me quite a bit from Betway there. The fact that they still have NRG firmly in the favor, even going into this T side. So we'll see if, well, that faith comes true, at least for the odds. Either way, I get to see if this purchase will work out. Duvek already taking a little bit of damage. Logan, well, I would be surprised to see him anywhere else. On top of the hut, just waiting with his mag. His brother-in-arms has abandoned him in this case as he's gone for a UMP. I don't think I've been disappointed by anything more in this whole tournament.
Amanek, you've
except
been on
maybe
point.
Na'Vi.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed with themselves as well. Either way, Logan can give us a bit of stylistic plays with the Mag 7 potentially. Alex waiting here at the bottom of Secret, and there are players all outside. All he needs to do is get the information that he expects, and that's exactly it. The incendiary grenade goes up. Daps is going to try and walk through it, and actually, he's got further than they maybe would have expected. Damage done. It's a one-for-one trade. Maybe not what Alex was hoping for then. He was planning to back away. Amanek right on the edge of the smoke. Oh, he gets two with the UMP. If he had the auto shotgun, imagine what would have happened then, Tom.
There were an extra $600 into his hands, basically. But, well, either way, this leaves it all onto Ethan. 1 versus 4. It's looking like LDLC are going to get off to the start. Look at Logan's position.
Wow.
That is just a perfect read on where his opponent... He almost went back to pick up the Mag 7. Oh,
he's like, do I want it? Do I not?
guess I'll take the AK.
He buys another one, my man.
He threw it over.
He's like, I don't want this. Give me the Mag 7.
Does anyone want the AK? Because I don't.
Hey, to be fair, like, it's not even... In any other normal map, it would be like, oh, unless it's maybe Inferno Apartments, you're not playing like this. But on Nuke, you can get away with it on these so many close corner angles. And LDLC, they just fully abuse it.
Yeah, it's working wonderfully for them. And, hey, it also gives them a big bank. Fugly already cooked early into this round. Obviously, it is more of a pistol purchase, although I say that LDLC have made these rounds go very well in the previous half. The fact is they themselves are a team that, well, I praised them quite a lot for being able to build up a lot of money. They're very good at these anti-eco rounds and really abusing them to make cash. You can see the shotgun still in play. Not that it matters when it comes to a buy round anyway. They're still going to keep it in play, but... Oh. Alex, a little bit of a dicey spray, but still works in his favor. And one by one, we see the drop of NRG players. Daps still managing to do work with a CZ. I almost feel like this should be his weapon of choice at this point, because I feel like that's where he's done most of his damage. But
he's got 9 kills, and probably 5 of them have been with CZs now.
Still attempting to get the bomb down. The read from Amanek is good. Cirque, at least doing a little bit of extra damage. Not probably the weapon he wanted to retrieve in this situation, but it could be $900. Now, for an AWPer, that would be a big deal. But if he can get this kill, and there you go. That's enough money to actually get an AWP into the next round as well. So that's a big kill.
This is winnable as well, though. 30 seconds to go. Toinu's on the AWP. It takes for him to miss 1 shot. It's got a bit of utility to play with. The flash goes out. It's only Alex that's going to be close range now. Toinu does poke out there. Alex will finish him off, though. The dream not quite possible here for Cirque. 11-8, though. LDLC stretching these rounds out a little bit further now. And we've only had a 2-round lead in the past so far.
Yeah, no,
so
really.
Now this is the biggest lead we've seen throughout this game.
I think it may have been 3. I think there was already a point. Was it? Or was it 6-4? No, actually, no, you're right. Was it 6-4?
I know I'm right. That's why I said it.
All right.
I'm joking. Normally I'd be terrible on that. Things like this. Old man memory does not work for me.
Yeah, I'm just using my mind palace and definitely never looking at the HLTV website.
Liar.
I think it was a fairly obvious lie, I'll be honest. Duvek, though, That is one hell of a start. 2 kills with the AK Cirque will at least trade one back on that AWP. And he's going for more. He wants to try and find these frags, but he's actually going to get punished for it. The T's with 2 in return and actually take themselves a man advantage. Amanek and Twanu currently left alive. Amanek has always been one of the stars of the show when it comes to this LDLC. Rust, Twanu given the opportunity, it doesn't matter. His teammate will take it instead. But the bomb is down. They've got to come in with the retake.
Yeah, 2v2. NRG certainly have the advantage here. No utility from them, though. And the CTs, they can quite easily flash their way in. They've got a smoke to play with as well. They don't want to go for it, though. They're not there. They're not keen for it. Time's ticking away. They literally have to go now, otherwise they're just saving. Twanu seems a little bit... This was too slow from LDLC. Amanek gets domed by Daps. Twanu can't get one either. Daps holding strong with 3 kills in that round, and that was a bit confusing because the bomb only went down when they were just up. This like just run down secret or go down. But I'm not sure where LDLC's mindset was with that.
I think also like once you sort of make that mistake of rotating too slowly, I think when you realize you're like, yeah, they don't really have enough time, and then Amanek just runs in anyway.
He's
it's
like,
sort of
I got this, guys.
It's like there was no real way that you were winning the round. Like they have enough to buy, but even still, Logan. Well, I can't say I'm not disappointed. He's now joined the UMP.
Maybe there's just more respect here from LDLC going against NRG than they did against North. Oh, very nice start from Logan, though, either way. Aggressive pushes. All of NRG try to barrel through Squeaky Door. Instead, they do actually open up the site now as Logan was able to get one, but that's all. He was the only sole defender on the top of that A site as Twanu tried to rotate in, and he just gets domed. So now we're in a 4v2 as Amanek falls as well.
Yeah, Ethan, an important triple in this round to open up the site and leaves only 2 remaining. Again, it's looking like a position where really they just want to be holding on to their weaponry. Alex would have to try and burst out of the vent to try and get into this, and that's just not going to be happening. Well, he still seems to be patiently waiting to see if anybody will drop down. Obviously taking away the AWP. I really don't know why he's pushing in. Is he trying for some sort of ninja diffuser? He has a 10-second diffuser.
I guess he just got the kill and was like, yep, I'm out. See you later, boys.
Just a little peekaboo to try and remove a bit of money. I can't believe he got away with that.
There was a player sat behind the vents as well. It's like, where's the refrag? Either way, NRG got the round. Alex just doing Alex things.
He 100% should have died there. Like, it genuinely annoyed me that he got away with that.
I don't think even NRG, though, expected him to just poke out cheekily on his own. They're probably like, he's definitely saving, don't worry.
Well, it makes it a bit more costly for NRG, I suppose. The fact is, they've already done enough damage to the economy of LDLC that this is not going to be a particularly interesting round. Now, there's a chance that they could try and set up Alex to either save the rifle for the next or at least do some extra damage to the economy of their opponent. The loss bonus isn't going to be too high, and all right. I think that's it. He had to hope that someone was very, very close to that work.
That must have just been a straight pre-fire as well, because as soon as the shot started firing, he just went, yep, Zeus. No. Either way, though, LDLC, they may still have 1 round lead, but NRG are going to look to even things up in this round. It's only Alex with the M4 in his hands. And the thing is, there's no like upgraded pistols. They're just playing the longer game here. Though Alex has walked away with 1, so maybe if someone can grab that AK-47 off Breezy's body, there could be a slight chance as Ethan jumps down. Gets the first, looking around for some more.
There's still multiple players here. The fact is, though, there's some pretty decent positions. Alex, he's very wary that there's a player in behind him. Cirque, not going to spot that. And if he can somehow retrieve this AWP, that could be great. But he's actually gone back in and found himself a second and the bomb. Ethan will just remove him from action. But either way, this is already a relatively successful round for LDLC considering the investment. Now the question is, can they steal it away? 35 seconds left. Ethan very much worried about players coming in from behind, and probably should be, but Logan may have just made the wrong call here. He's probably going to walk out into the vent. He's not really been spotted, but Fugly, luckily, is there to cover off his teammate. They will win this round, but not in a convincing fashion. And now the CTs can come back in after forcing 3 rebuys.
Yeah, that was a really strong round from Alex there. It was just a shame from where he was getting the kills. There was no one else to pick up the fallen weapons on the floor that he could have been able to use to their advantage. That could have been a real difference maker in how the rest of that round went.
They even lost the AWP.
Yeah.
So it really is an expensive rebuy for NRG to just get onto their full buy. And this is a genuine chance for LDLC to send their economy packing. It's only really Fugly and Daps with enough cash to buy into the next round. The rest of the team would be left with SMGs if they even went for it. So an important round in this match. Of course, LDLC yet to really build after the couple rounds we've seen NRG bounce back with. Davidovec, however, will kick things off, but it doesn't last very long. Are they going to expect Logan up above? He's still here. They haven't spotted him. Cirque's going to be so surprised, and Ethan is just traded out. It's left in a 3v2. The T's trying to make their way back into the site. The bomb is dropped, so it has to be a push in towards A. And the problem is Daps is down the vent. Really not a very valuable position here, unless, of course, he can find Twanu.
Well, Twanu might find him at this point. A little bit of that spray coming out. Twanu trying to get it done. Daps and him just dancing around the vents at this point. Daps goes in for it, he gets the kill, but he gets dinked down, so it's now a 2v2 with Daps very low. No utility on the T's, but it doesn't matter for Fugly. He's going to put down Alex and put it all onto Amanek, who, okay, he's been a very key player for LDLC. We're still not 100% sure, though, where this lineup wants to go from NRG. The bomb's on the floor. Amanek's got it in full control, but there's so many angles he has to watch from top of hut here.
Yeah, this is a pretty hard position to try and cover, and the T's have really taken their time. Now, Daps, of course, only on 10 HP. Fugly, if he just pushes in through the hut, he may have some problems. Actually, he's heard the push, but there is Fugly quick on the trade. An important one of that, and an important round in this matchup. LDLC, you can tell they'd love to force into this one, but unfortunately, the finances just won't let them.
In before you see 5 auto shotguns?
Nope. No, even from me, someone who loves an XM, that I think that'd be a bit much. And the fact is, this team's pretty much good with any weapon in their hand. I think that just the fact that with one rifle, they managed to get everybody so low and come pretty close to winning the round in that one.
And it was just USPs on the rest of them, right, on the P250. So this time around, we've got some armor bought in. We've got the CZs as well.
You don't have the rifle, though. And that was actually what did most of the damage, so.
Did all the damage.
Yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully they can do a little bit, keep the game close. Because I think if NRG start to really build towards the end of this, that's where the troubles could begin. Ethan, he's had a fantastic second half, and in these anti-ecos, he's been the one that's actually keeping them going. Because the fact is, if he doesn't get these multi-frags, which a lot of people would sort of, oh yeah, he's just padding his stats. No, they've actually come very close to losing a lot of these rounds. So it's been important that he's been cleaning up the kills. He is currently at the top of the board for his team, and he's adding to that right now. The fact is, NRG kind of need to get themselves a clean round, because if LDLC do build in, it just doesn't happen. Logan again, close for Twanu. 3 players surviving is at least a little bit of money made. But again, LDLC are able to keep them honest.
This buy now for LDLC could be one of the last big buys they have here if they can't manage to get a few rounds together. The economy of NRG is not flawless. There's been a few expensive rounds in there, but they've got the comfortable buys at least. Orb up on Toynu. It's time for him to do some damage. He's not glass cannon, but 0 utility to back him up there. Only 1 kit. It's going to be Logan, the solo carry who plays the A's site, normally on top of hut. Alex has already gone down. He tries to sneak in down secret, but instead he gets punished because they have the fast play up onto Silo. Ethan getting that early kill. And already with a disadvantage, something needs to change here for LDLC.
Yeah, that's been their biggest problem in this CT side, is just Ethan. He's been fantastic. The top of the board with 22 kills, and I think the next is Breezy with 17. He did most of the work on the rounds they actually managed to get on the CT side, so he has been the leading force. From the CTs here, they do still have the AWP onto Twanu. Yet to really have the impact that we desire coming out from him. I'm currently actually bottom. We do now have Daps looking to try and wrap back around. Amanek will remove that killer factor of Ethan. We'll see if how the team actually functions without him. Maybe somebody else will step up to the table, or this could be the chance for LDLC to get another round on the board.
No, Breezy's certainly a man that can step up, but Logan sprays him down. They start to line up. Cirque takes a lot of damage, down on 3 health, but he does walk away with at least 1 kill. Now it's all up to him and Daps, though, and this is not a scenario they want to be in. Toynu going in for the leg scope. Manages to get it done as Cirque bundles his way down ramp, but instead will die in the process. Daps now in a 1v3. And he's got nothing to play with, no bomb, no utility. He can hear Duvek running around, so he knows he's in the back lines of it, gets the first.
See, now he can actually save and drop an AK.
Yeah.
That kill is so worthwhile, because that's one extra AK they can buy. Obviously, the other players on this team will get the loss bonus, so Cirque could even go for an AWP. Yeah, okay, one of the players, probably Fugly, will have to take a little bit more of a hit. But generally, that $300 has made a massive difference to their buy.
Yeah, and we said, right, they had good economy on NRG, but it quickly gets turned around a little bit here where it's a bit awkward, and we already have Daps on a CZ, so this is a must-win round for both sides because LDLC don't want to be reset either.
Was 5 rounds in a row. It sort of shows how close it really was, that it's only enough for one purchase from NRG. But now it really is crunch time. This map can go either way, and we spoke about the potential of the 2-0 for either side, as they are both pretty good at overpass. Duvek, though, again, he starts off and he sprays down a couple. Logan chimes in with another, and the trades back leave it all onto Cirque. 1 versus 3. Alex just around this corner. It seems like he knows and hits him. Leaves it down onto 2. He's got a chance. The problem is the position of the bomb, but at least he has the clock on his side. Still plenty of time to try and isolate these duels. Now he's faked his movement to try and basically bait the positions of this CT side. They haven't moved. They're sticking with that bomb. And this is going to be a very hot jump, and he gets it as well. Leaves it all onto Twanu, the 1v1. The AWPs up against each other. Now, he knows that he's hit the dink, so I imagine in this situation, Twanu will be there with the USP. He's actually still got that AWP in hand, which, if anything, leaves this in somewhat of an even battle. It's whether or not he reads the situation. Now, Cirque is rotating all the way around. He even has a chance to get into heaven, but it's a little bit of a louder way of making it on towards that site. The clock is now starting to tick low enough that he has to start running. And actually, he still has time that if he gets up this ladder, the fact is he doesn't know that Twanu's still making a play himself. He's not just sitting pretty. He's not waiting on that site, which does have so many angles to check. And the reposition, I think just the amount of time that's actually happened here is the problem. Cirque has taken too long, and Twanu knows that the wraparound is coming. He has to go for this bomb plan. He has to try and play it safe, and Twanu, I think he just killed him with the nade. Very well played, calm and collected. Cirque, at least, again, makes things costly, but it doesn't really matter in the end because the T's just don't have enough money.
Yeah, even with that plant, it's not going to be what they would have needed there. Cirque, he did a great job to try and bring that into the 1v1 and clutch it out, but it wasn't meant to be. LDLC now even it up. They've got a little bit of money to play with. It's still a tough buy for them either way. They're not going to have all of the utility they want, but if NRG take the save here, that gives them their chance to build upon it. Going to see the Mag 7 brought back up on Logan. Hammer neck. What's he going to be given? He's got an M4 in front of him, dropped over, so that works out quite nicely. A reasonable buy here from LDLC. They can make it work, but NRG are going to get the forced-up pistols to work with. Tech 9, CZs, and a P250 in play, and a lot of smokes, which suggests they might try and take this outside area. Toinu's going to be the one ready and waiting, looking at it as the first smokes start to drop down. Repositions himself a little bit here. No, he can't take any pot shots. He's got not much of a hope in hell's chance of seeing through that, but Alex is going to play right on the edge of the smoke here. They should expect this. They drop their own one down. Spray comes out. He only manages to get one, though. It's not good enough from Alex on this hold, and Duvek sprays away without managing to catch him. Daps is going to go down here, but that's the bomb. This is ideal for Duvek as he pushes into it, walks away with a triple, but Breezy will finish him off. No weapon in his hands, though, just the Tech 9. 1v2, and NRG have done the damage they need to, right? Not even 3 CTs alive, and they needed that money. So this will pay off for NRG. If he could even maybe potentially walk away with a plant here, that would be huge. You've still got 50 seconds to go, which means Breezy can quite comfortably move his way around the map here.
Yeah, he's actually split the defense as well. That's the biggest problem at the moment for the CT side. There's an opportunity for him to get a 1v1, and, well, then it's anyone's game. If he can somehow pick off Amanek, he's got a chance. The problem is that Molotov is going to give everything away. He goes back into the site, and he's absolutely unaware of where his opponent currently sits. An easy kill for Amanek, and the buy It's going to come back in, though. And this is really the most important round of the entire game.
Yeah.
If NRG can win this, they did enough damage that they've at least got the economy like reasonably low for LDLC. At the same time, they don't have enough loss bonus that going into the next round they can purchase. So LDLC could end this if they manage to win this round. And, well, that's why we're seeing NRG actually come in with a tactical pause of their own.
This is a problem as well, because NRG know that they can break this, but do they do it, or do they wait and get a full bite that they ideally want? Do they get Circle on the AWP to try and make it work, or do they just bust with the AKs?
I think they've got to buy here. I think it'd be really weird if they didn't. If you have enough to get the AKs on the board, they're not a team that I've really seen make sacrifices to make sure Cirque has an AWP, especially on the T side of Nuke as well. It's like one of those maps where, okay, if you are like a prominent AWP, you can bring it in maybe as a bit more of a counter, but I'm not looking at it and going, yeah, no, there's so many opportunities for him. No, it's a difficult T side to play. He is doing reasonably well, second on the board, 20 and 18. But now we come into the crunch time.
Crunch time indeed. Toinu still does have his AWP in hand. The buy is actually better than the previous round for LDLC, but they need to have a cleaner chance here and get that match point if they want it. NRG going barreling straight out. Ethan's walked away with 1 kill. Alex tried to reposition himself, but he's not been able to get it done. This is dominant from NRG. Heads are getting domed all over the map, and it's now all up to Toinu and Amanek to hold on to their weapons and fight back in the next round, because this is not what they wanted and not what they expected.
Yeah, they're going to have a really difficult decision here, because their money's not going to be in a great state either. Now, saving I just don't really see as an option. They don't have enough money to go for a save and even then buy continuously. So by the looks of things, it may just be like a few dropped SMGs and sort of whatever else they can muster. And like saving these weapons is going to be crucial. Now, in a lot of scenarios, the T-side hunting, I wouldn't be too much of a fan of it, but it's getting so down towards the end that if they remove these remaining couple of weapons, it's going to be more valuable to them. The problem is if they just lose all their players and don't remove any of them, not so much. And at the moment, that's all that's really happened. Bomb is going to be going off, and they've only actually got a player, well, on 4 HP, so just about keeping 2 alive. They could have had all 5. But again, tactical pause for NRG.
Yeah, use it. Why not? You're getting towards the end. Keep yourself focused. Keep yourself cool, calm, and collected. And that's certainly what they needed. They can pull off another round like they just had there, where it was just the entering dominance that NRG showed. LDLC's buy here is, it's so poor. Normally a team that we've seen manage that economy so well, but remember the Mag 7 of Logan, it did a few nice kills, but it wasn't exactly the big make it rain money maker. And Amanek not having that auto shotty meant also that they couldn't build up as much as they did against North.
Yeah, it definitely looks like they're playing a more respectful game, if anything. Just changing things up a little bit, but I don't really know why it works so well.
I think they just had the confidence against North that they kind of knew fully how they were going to play. Maybe against NRG, they're not kind of feeling it in the same way. Maybe it's a bit more hard in their eyes to predict how this would go for NRG.
Well, this is looking like a much faster play. The T side, they've taken the tack pause and they're going to go running into the site. Almost a LDLC-esque play. The spray from Alex, it does some damage. Logan coming in from behind, but Fugly's just done everything. 3 kills for him. Breezy ends the life of Amanek. And Twanu is the same position as last round. We've only had 25 seconds gone, Banks. They've already got the bomb plant down and killed 4 players.
My problem with that round for LDLC is you just played your standard positions again that you've played the last probably 5 rounds or more in this entire map on your CT side. So why did you not try and mix up? Because the amount of pre-fire that NRG showed just then was, we know where you're going to be. That's why that was so easy. 2 rounds in a row, NRG just bust the A site. And they make it look so easy, so convincing. Toinu's going to do his best to hold on to this. He's not being aggressed into just yet. But either way, the buy for LDLC to try and take this to overtime is going to be incredibly difficult. Could it be 16-14 NRG? We'll find out on this next round. As look at the money. It's just in absolute tatters here for LDLC.
Yeah, they have to pull off another one of those crazy rounds which we've seen from them throughout this tournament so far. Of course, this is their map choice. Now, they go into Overpass anyway, so it's not like this is the end of the world. No. At the same time, this is a map that they would have wanted to take away from NRG just to give them that sort of safety net. We've already seen them come back in this tournament already. In fact, this was the map that they actually managed to do it on yesterday. But We'll see what they can do here. They've got a couple of SMGs. They've still got Twanu with the AWP. The fact is, though, he hasn't had much impact with it. I can't really say there's been any crazy AWP rounds or even just finding openers for the team. It's not been a good map for him, and I think he needs to be playing more proactive. He needs to be set up. He needs to be pushing positions, and it just seems like he's playing way too passively at the moment for the man with the only gun that they have, or only primary weapon that we really see. Yep. Most on pistols. The SMG's not ideal. The fact is, though, again, it's going to be the push around. Outside being taken by Daps. Alex is waiting. He's using that CZ, pretty much the ideal range, just nice and close in the face of these players. Twanu, again, he's just a bystander, watching as they cross pass. Mop. Alex just going to be using the smoke. Now, he was isolated in this position before. Looking like they're just going to go running through it again. He misses the spray. He had the chance. Twanu still hasn't moved. The AWP is going to be absolutely nowhere near the action. It has to be down to these pistol players. Amanek trying to hold on with the CZ. He's been a hero for them before, and he hits the dink as well. Obviously getting a little bit low on ammo, so may want to be a little bit more conservative. The fact is, though, the T's may not actually make the decision to go in this direction. They've switched it up, and again, it's the change of pace, the change of spot that now leaves them with a strong after-plant position.
The question is, can they get it done now? NRG, certainly in a good situation here. They've got everything they would want. Like you said, though, Tom, Twanu, he's literally just been irrelevant these last few rounds. Now he's going to come straight into A main. The rest are going to go through door. Ethan's ready and waiting. Twanu gets one. Amanek walks away with it. Oh my God, they're getting it done. It's all on to Breezy. He's in his spot. He's going to try and hold it down. Sprays into one, gets the second. Amanek runs around the corner, but he gets it done. Absolutely brilliant with a CZ. He gets the kit. And he's closed it out. He's taken it to overtime. It's 15-15. And LDLC somehow, some way make it work here, Tom.
It just seems to be Amanek again. It was a couple of kills from Twanu, finally managing to really utilize the AWP. It was sort of getting ready to talk about the fact that they just don't manage to use that AWP well, and he wasn't in the round, but then he walks back into a site and gets two crucial frags in their retake. Breezy does his best to hold on, but the fact is, it does not happen. 15-15. It could have been finished by NRG. It really could have on this T side. And now, well, we just have to wait to get back in. All the money's going to be there. We can't really have complaints about finances being diminished, as they're going to have the full 16K.
Yeah, money in the bag. It's exactly how LDLC would want to play it, right? They've had to scrap together on these last few rounds. The way to get this done.
Of course, the winner of this game does go through to the playoff stage, quarterfinals. The loser out. So pretty big deal, I would say, for either of these teams, really. LDLC one game away from actually getting into the playoffs, which I don't think anybody would have expected, considering they've had to go all the way through the qualifiers. Yeah. They've had a good run. They've eliminated Renegades, almost managing, of course, to win that first best-of-1 versus FaZe. They then go on to take down North after losing their map choice and coming back on the very map we sit on.
You just can't count LDLC out.
No. And if they even if they just make it to playoffs, I say just, even if they make it to playoffs in Chicago, that is a massive deal for this roster.
Yeah.
On the other side of things, it's been dicey for NRG. Losing a map to MVP, I don't think that's something they would have expected. If they get eliminated here by NRG, that's another thing that it really shouldn't have been the case for them.
But this is one of the things we said about, right, in the pre-match. You said it could go 2-0 to either team either way. And potentially, yes. I don't think what we're seeing at this event in particular from NRG has been up to standard as what we normally see from them, right? Back in New York, they looked a bit better. Online, throughout the NA Pro League, they've looked strong. It's a thing with NRG here that, okay, now we need to prove that we can do this against a team that we don't have too much information on about, we're not used to playing, who's got a very unorthodox and different style.
Well, yeah, even at Summit, obviously, NRG were managing to take it, so... Yeah. They're obviously, that we always talk about that sort of fact of, like, teams coming off the back of a win. Like, well, I think Navi's a pretty damn good example of that, like, coming back off it and then going straight out of the tournament. But, yeah, NRG definitely with a lot to prove. Of course, they have already played against MIBR today and managing to take that through in a close series. The fact is, though, before that, well, losing to North in the best of one, having some troubles versus MVP, which again, that shouldn't really have happened, even though I do feel like they were more like floating the map of Dust 2. I think that was like a test.
It was like okay, look, if we can try and beat MVP on it and something they want to pick into, fine, that'd be cool. But instead it didn't. But it was after watching that Dust 2, it was a scary factor of like, oh, could MVP have a little chance?
Could they actually eliminate them? And it was sort of like,
an option? Never
mind. But still, it's not something we really expect. And even if they were just pugging that match, I somewhat expected them to just win 2-0. And if you come into this tournament, like take all of what we've seen in this tournament out of it, and you say, okay, best of 3 against LDLC, I would have said 2-0 there as well. But coming into the match, I think LDLC have definitely proved that they're a team, wow, that can definitely pull off results. I'm looking forward to seeing them in other tournaments, maybe in like the DreamHack Tours or something like that, because I think they'll be a team a force to be reckoned with. I think they could even like really challenge to win some of those like tier 2 events.
Certainly so. So we are just in the pause scenario. I'm guessing they want a little bit of break after that heated 15 rounds. And a lot of these rounds, right, weren't like super quick rounds. We had a lot of drawn out ones. It wasn't until the end where NRG were like, cool, we're going to rush forward now. We believe this is what's going to work. And I think that's the main thing LDLC should take away from this. If you look at anything over these past few rounds is don't be predictable, because that is what NRG ended up abusing. They knew they didn't have to be scared of Toinu being outside with the AWP because they smoked him off every time and he played so passive. It was like, cool, we can just run down now. And then when they barreled into the A's site and they just literally bum rushed it, it was them just pre-firing positions and angles they expected LDLC to be in. The problem, Logan was often playing on Hut and being a bit versatile there, but when he got on the rafters, he sat the back left corner the entire time, right? And again, okay, cool, we know he's going to be there. The same for Devaduvek, he just sat straight in.
That was actually the thing that we spoke about when it came to the Cash game that we watched versus Renegades.
Yeah.
Where they did the same thing, but they weren't punished. So that's the thing. That is what I sort of like almost want to say without the coach in the sort of previous game that we watched with Renegades. I think it actually played into them. Obviously, NRG themselves like realized and punished them for it. Now the interesting factor will be, is there going to be much of a change here? They've had a little bit of a breather. They've had a bit of time to calm down, and we are right back into this decider match. One of these teams goes through to the playoffs. The other is eliminated, and we get right back into the action.
NRG getting their smokes outside as per usual. This time, Toinu's going to go up from Secret. This is a nicer option here, Tom. Something a little bit different. He's not going to go aggressive either. He's going to wait for them to come to him. He wants them to play into his hands. Daps might be the one to do it, and he does. First kill happens. Toinu gets the lead. And Ethan, he doesn't want to push any further forward just yet. Flashes go out, and Toinu, he's like, cool, I can just sit back a little bit. But what this has done is slowed NRG down a bit, right? They're not pushing down Secret now. Alex walks away with a kill as well. This is very different from LDLC. I don't think we've seen Alex once at the back of Garage like this. Cirque's now looking for him, an easy kill for Cirque to find. He takes a pop shock in the dark, but it's not been able to connect with anything. And Breezy now backing away from looking to go through heaven. He's going to jump his way up, though. He's going to take the sneaky route. Amanek, will he expect this? Because this could be a problem. Breezy could just literally walk in and open up the entire site on his own here.
I think they must have an idea that he could be here, though. That's the thing. After taking the outer control, Breezy is going to be looking to try and make a play into the site. The problem is he's now given away his position. Devaduvek finds one, even with the pre-firing onto the upper spot. It's now left all onto Cirque. There is absolutely no way he's coming away with this round. The clock's against him, and so are the 4 players of LDLC. A team ace to start off this first OT.
Where was that like 4 rounds ago? Even 2 rounds ago? Like, that, literally, LDLC just played in completely different spots apart from Logan, who was still sat in the corner. Everyone else was in a new position compared to what we'd seen over the last 6 rounds for their CT side.
Well, maybe they were the ones who needed the tactical pause, just to have that little bit of time to talk. I don't know the rules on tech pauses here, so I'm not going to pretend that I do. But I imagine they might have had a little bit of a natter.
Well, they get a break in between the overtimes anyway, in case toilet break, something like that. So, yeah, they can use that for whatever they need to.
Well, already a lot of utility expended early on. Like, that's all the incendiaries gone within 20 seconds. from the CT side. They really didn't want an aggressive push for NRG. And to be fair, they have been going very quick. Fugly, he runs straight into the site, and the rest of the team are a little bit delayed. They still manage to trade effectively and go back into this 3v3. Amanek, he may be able to beat the Molotov, and that's a problem. He doesn't get the second kill, though. Cirque is just quick enough to close down the frag. He's thrown away all his weapons and ends up with an AWP once again. Look at the rotation coming in from Alex. The problem is, it's a very, very long one. It's going to take him some time. Cirque's actually going to go peeking back in, and his position here may be perfect. He spots out, but Alex finds the frag anyway. It's a second OT round for LDLC. And while, if they get all three, I almost feel like they have to take it over the line.
All three would be ideal here for LDLC. Once they got the money, once they didn't have the pressure of economy and trying to play it smart, things have started to look better for them as they walked into overtime. It's NRG now. Still favored with your odds on Betway. But are they going to be favored
in our
much
hearts?
Further? I was going to say much further if they managed to walk away with this map here as Nuke. They're not far away. NRG slowed things down again.
Yeah, the faster pace really didn't work in the previous rounds, and they looked at, I think the timing was a little bit off with the push in the previous. Like, it was traded eventually, but Fugly seemed to be into the site way before anybody else. Of course, if they win one of these rounds, obviously, the thing about the CT side is when you have weaker economy, it's a problem. But obviously here, that's not possible. Logan waiting on the site. He's caught out, but Devaduvek has been excellent over the last few rounds. Even he will fall in the same fashion, and onto the 3v3 we go. Amanek's quick to rotate, and with a double heaven control, could be a bit of a problem. I almost want to see them duck into the vents here. Drop down, reposition. The problem is Alex is always there. He's always waiting, but the Molotov forces him out. Amanek again pounces from above, and we fall into this 2 versus 2. Tuanu gets tagged within inches of his life, and it is left all onto Amanek. Now he has reasonable control of the bomb. The problem is there's 2 players coming to get him. Cirque's going to go for the individual peek, but luckily for the T side, he wins it, no trouble. 17-16. Again, the CT side were slightly favored. Now we get to see if LDLC can do it on the T side. And I really want to like sort of push home the point that a lot of the time with LDLC, it was the early rounds that they managed to get that made their T side actually a little bit more like bolstered, I suppose. And then NRG, once they had the money, they really did look good on their CT side. So there's a definite prospect that they manage to take this one home.
Yeah. It is certainly a possibility. I think NRG have got the saving grace in that last round, but we really now need to look towards what they can do on their CT side. LDLC took them a while to get going on their T side. We'll have a pause again in between. And rightly slow. High-pressured first map. I really liked what we did see from LDLC, though. They really switched things up on their CT side. What else have they got for their T side now, though?
Well, I think without a doubt, this is one of the most exciting LDLC rosters we've seen in a long, long time. So I'm actually really looking forward to see what they can do in the future. And like I sort of went into this tournament, like seeing when like the matches were given to us, I was like, LDLC, they're probably going to get bodied. And then after the first like best of one that we didn't cast, I was like, maybe not. Like they really have like sort of, well, proved me wrong at least.
But we did, it's just honesty, right? When you're looking at it, it's not just say on the stats, but when you don't see, like the only games I've seen of any recent times of LDLC have all been online. And okay, they had the Astralis result who'd already qualified at that point for the event they were playing in. So it's, for me, I really want to see now is LDLC competing against these topper teams. Now, okay, you had a 16-14 against FaZe. You then took down North straight after that.
Well, it was Renegades.
Not Renegades and then North, but you've literally gone tier by tier upwards, right, in terms of the teams you're beating. So if you can take down NRG, this is some legit results that LDLC are putting behind them here.
Yeah, NRG, a team that can sort of upset, even steal away tournaments at times. So
massively.
It's, it will be the rise up. And obviously once you get into the playoff stage, it really is then getting to a point where you go, how far can this team go? So...
Now, the reason for the pause is we are just swapping out a PC for one player. Little crashes, these things do happen. So We've got a bit more time on our hands here. I think mainly for the teams, though, they're probably gunning to get back into it. This is the worst time it can happen during a high-pressured OT on your first map of a best-of-3.
Yeah, of course, we do still have another match coming up after this, which is I'm looking forward to that as well, because that's where I feel like Luminosity are now being thrown right into the deep end. They've got Mouse Sports to face off against, obviously eliminating. It was sort of German Org versus German Org as they knocked out Big. Getting a little bit of revenge there, I imagine.
Yeah, after the whole auto sniper tilt and shouting at Star Series that was before.
But yeah, I think that match I definitely don't see being as close, unless of course we sort of get the Henny and Lucas show. But I don't think they'll be able to do it against Mouse.
Is a whole different ball game. One thing we can talk about while we wait here, Tom, is Scream, right? Obviously very familiar with playing in the French scene. He tweeted out and said, really surprised by Team LDLC, definitely the best French team right now. Now, we said that yesterday, right, when we were doing the games, because G2 have looked just abysmal. It's just not even funny at this point. And Vitality we've not seen on a top level yet. They're now having to go through this new change of, yes, you've got some legendary players on that roster, but also you've got a new players coming in. It's a new dynamic. So right now, LDLC certainly, yeah, and then LDLC now certainly have that top spot. And the question is, the more damage they do here, the more confirmed it is. I don't think anyone can argue that.
The only thing that worries me is that this is definitely a team that could be picked apart.
No, don't say it. Don't say it, Tom.
It has to be said, though. Because it is. We see a lot of teams get ruined. Like AGO, that team was ruined. Like, I really liked that team. And then the VP, they came along with their money and destroyed it. And they're still not very good, so it really wasn't worth it at all. But it's just like, I don't want to see this team touched. I want to see how far they can do. Obviously, if it doesn't work out, then sure, make a bit of a change. But honestly, they look excellent.
Well, we're back into the game. LDLC have a one-round lead here in overtime. It's only our first overtime. Will we get any more? That's the question. Alex back to playing this outside area, very similar to what he did previously. Cirx walked away with the first kill on Tamanek, though, and that's a big body to take down. That's a scout that's been domed. Oh, Alex very fast onto Daps. Will he stay alive, though? Tries to hide in the smokes. Ethan's able to finish him off. Logan goes down as well. So again, NRG able to hold strong. Breezy just tapping away, backing him up, and it's all on Toinu in a 1v3 early on here.
Yeah, these are not the situations that I expect him to come out of alive. He hasn't been excellent in this match so far. He's had a few moments that sort of tickled my fancy a little bit, but not in this one. Breezy will put him down within seconds, and the scoreline is equalized once again. As I said, once the money came into NRG's side on their CT side, it really was a sort of different ball game altogether, with a streak of a few rounds in the mid part. Obviously here, money just isn't even a problem. Cirque can have his AWP whenever he wants. He is currently the top fragger in the server, actually overtaking Ethan, who really was running away with it. Daps actually opting for the AUG. Are you a fan?
Yeah, we saw Daps use this quite a bit in NA Pro League as well. He's one of him and Elise are the two early players to just pick up the AUG all the time. They don't pick up the Krieg. They still prefer the AK, obviously the one shots. It's the speed of these weapons. It's how much damage they can do and the faster fire rates.
I really do enjoy Chris J playing with the Krieg.
Yes.
Like, because he doesn't, the worst thing is he doesn't even, like, scope. He just runs around and taps one bullet and just, I don't even know how.
The recoil of both them guns is so much easier to just get a hold of and get a grip of in comparison to the M4 and AK. Obviously, if you know the M4 and AK one, then cool, fine. But, I mean, it's been the early adopters that have been doing well.
They're playing a combat round.
Got no nice guns. Position from Ethan. That's twice now from different positions that Ethan's just been ready for the drop down and able to do some early damage here.
And he's looking for a little bit more. Now, looking for a little bit of a sneak down. Fugly already looking to try and reposition, get himself an advantage, and Daps has picked off another. Looking like a dicey situation now as LDLC, they need to get back into this one relatively quickly. Now, Devedevec is well placed. He sprays away, gets one, can't quite finish off the second, and both players take a lot of damage in return.
Don't die to your own volley. Jesus.
There's Summit not entering the server just yet, but we are going to have
no 1Gs this time around.
Rotating back in, picks off Tuanu, leaves it down to just 2. Logan the only one with any real health, and he's left all alone. Fugly should fall, but he misses the shots anyway, and it is going to be NRG hitting themselves an 18th round map point for them on their opponent's choice. Not that I think that's going to matter too much in this series. Either way, LDLC with their backs against the wall, but that is where they play their best CS.
Do you know what? I'm wondering at this point if Tuanu just don't buy an AWP. I know it's his weapon of choice, it's what his role is, but I mean, it's not been anything spectacular. He's not been hitting shots at this moment in time. Just give him an AK and let him just chill for a bit. Oh, is this just off spawn? Yeah, okay, this one's just off spawn, so Amanek will just drop it back, but I'm not getting what I wished. I'm just thinking, like, give him that extra firepower, give him that extra chance, and Amanek's not going to beat Cirque despite the spawn, and that'll be his 30th for the Bulgarian on the NA side of NRG.
He's going to be peeking back in. You've got to be careful running into the crosshair of that AWP. Not a man to give you too many chances. But I do like the fact that he really has been playing that rotational role very well. Yeah. The second he finds an opening pick, he's somewhere else on the map, and that almost is going to strike fear into the hearts of LDLC. We definitely haven't seen the same sort of aggressive rounds that we were having onto the A side, which were so successful to them. Fugly, well placed, but can't quite connect the shots and isn't going to take any sort of risks here. Doesn't want to be overwhelmed. He just faces into the site. A minute left. Actually looking to reaggress. Now, he wants to make sure that his team have the information in case they are wrapping back around. But by the looks of things, the Ts are just going to force the issue in onto the B site. Zerg's actually going to be caught out by Alex as well. He's always in the back lines. He's always causing problems. Fugly, he can only manage one, and it goes into the 3 versus 3. 35 seconds left on the clock, and there's still a man lurking around. Daps has caught Alex as well, and they have to clear out that door, really, before the bomb can be planted. The Molotov will give them the time to do it. Logan actually just waiting, holding, peeks back in. Ethan finds him in his left door onto Davidovec. Up above, he's been spotted out, looks for the first, can't find it. NRG, they managed to close this. It hit OT, LDLC looked like they had a chance, but NRG on their CT side, they win all of the rounds.
NRG managing to get it done there, looking very strong once they moved back over. It was a very back and forth game, especially early on there, but I think one of the key things you can take away from that was LDLC will be kicking themselves, they didn't adjust earlier on before we got into the overtime. NRG will be thinking, okay, look, we grinded out a few rounds, but ultimately we played our game on a map that, okay, we play into, but it's not a key pick for them. And I think as well for NRG, you'll be very confident going into Overpass. The problem when we go on Overpass as the second map is both teams are very, very strong at it. And it's 2 very different styles, which we're going to be able to see here. So I think LDLC won't be kicking themselves. They'll be a bit annoyed that they didn't get the 3-0 on the first half of overtime there. I think that should have happened, right? It came into a situation where NRG just bust back into it and come with full force.
The thing is, they've been pretty good at winning opponents' map choices, so I definitely don't think they're a team that sort of gets bogged down. We've seen them, even in the Renegades game, when they were like losing by quite a hefty margin on cash, turn it back. So I don't think that they're really a team that, well, firstly has that much pressure. Obviously, even what they've managed to achieve so far is more than many would have expected. They've definitely burst into the sort of tier 1 scene with a bang and made things a bit more exciting. And the fact is they are going to go into this second map still feeling pretty confident. As you said, it's a map they like to play. The only thing that worries me, though, is this man here. Now, he had an excellent performance on a map that I wouldn't say is going to be his strongest with the AWP. Yep. Now, moving into Overpass, that is an AWPer's paradise. And I think that Tuanu will need to step up his game, because if he can't match up to Cirque, I don't think there's anything they can do.
And the thing is, it wasn't like Tuanu didn't have amazing amount of frags, right? He was still chiming in, but he just wasn't having any impact. When you look at Cirque, when he's opening up rounds, when he's getting these initial kills, he's doing that deadly damage, because Amanek was there multiple times trying to fight up against him off spawn-based positions, and even then, Cirque's dominant as ever.
And look at just look at the amount of times also that Cirque dropped the bomb. Like, the amount of times he was trying to cross the site, Cirque drops the bomb, buys 15, 20 seconds for his team to rotate. Like, the frags really were impactful, and he had 30 of them. So it just sort of, like, that was the defining factor in that game. And I think that when it comes down to it, if he's even close to that good on Overpass, I think they will just take this in a 2-0 fashion.
Well, you could be right here, Tom. Overpass is coming up next. The question is, what has LDLC got to surprise NRG this time? Or will NRG walk away with the 2-0? We're going to be going to a quick break, but when we come back, you'll be finding out.